The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not represent the position of the host, this show, or any organization either party is affiliated with. All content is shared purely for educational and inspirational purposes. Nothing discussed here constitutes professional advice. Listeners are encouraged to independently verify any information before acting on it. The host is not responsible for any outcomes resulting from guest statements. By listening, you agree that you are solely responsible for how you use the information shared. Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I am joined by another special guest, Meena Chand, who is joining us from the United Kingdom, and originally she is from Nepal. Meena is one of the well-known IBM Champion, a mainframe performance and capacity management specialist, and a co-lead of Women AI in UK. So in today's episode, we will talk about mainframe performance, enterprise technology, women in AI, leadership, education, community impact, and building a meaningful career with the purpose. But before we get started, I would like to thank Meena for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
So, hi everyone. My name is Meena Chand. As he already told me, yes, I'm originally from the Nepal, but I came in UK in 2023 as a student, and I'm an IBM champion, as well as I have been working in SMT data as a mainframe analyst, not extremely performance and capacity analyst, and also the education women in AI. So, and I'm very excited to be in this podcast.
Thanks for coming and for joining this series. And before we, Meena, before we talk about your expertise areas and the key areas where you are working currently, I just wanted to know about your initial days, because you grew up in Nepal and now you work in a mainframe performance for some of the most critical systems like banks, hospital, governments. So, can you walk us through that journey? Like, what did that leap from Nepal to UK actually look like? How you got started your career and how you shifted to UK? Overall theory, story of yours.
Yeah, since from my childhood, I always thought technology always make easy lifestyles, and after doing my undergrad, I got a 1 million scholarship in Nepal. I'm not from a rich background, I'm from the humble background, and getting the scholarship and coming to the UK, it was a huge journey for me. And it's not about the journey because it would say it's like, the evolution of being myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in my undergrad degree, I did my bachelor in business information systems. So it is the combination of enterprise and technology at the same time. So I could understand what business is and what enterprise and the technology is, since from the Nepal. But in the Nepal educations, it's much more theoretical rather than the practical hands-on experiences. So after that, the gaining the undergrad degree, I went to the India to work for the few years, and then at the same time I was practicing my spirituality on that time. Then I thought I should grow more in my career development. Then
Mhm.
definitely I went to the UK. I chose UK because I love British education so much. I don't know, since from a childhood I used to learn so much about the the novels related with the British novels like Hunchback of Notre Dame, Sherlock Holmes, Elizabeth. And I used to sing like, Pussycat, Pussycat, where have you been? I have been to London to look at the Queen. So I was singing, that was my favorite rhyme those time. And now look, I'm here in the United Kingdom, pursuing my dream and going deep dive into the enterprise technology and the mainframe.
Okay. So yeah, it's really very inspiring and very interesting, like how you are following your passion, especially the things that you love to do, whether it's reading about the novels and to enjoying the life that you have wished for your journey. And it's absolutely going in the right direction, because the way you are consistently contributing for the IT industry, it is always appreciated by your peers, your network. So I think it is going in a very great direction. And here, Meena, I just want to know about the decision behind choosing the mainframe, because we all know that mainframes rarely make headlines, yet you have called them one of the most critical and in-demand areas in tech. So, could you please help the audience to demystify, especially for those listener, like who believe that mainframes are about to die, and why should people outside the enterprise IT care about the mainframe performance and capacity management? So, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, we don't talk about the mainframe oftenly, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So, still, speaking honestly, when I was in my, the MSc postgraduate degree over here, I didn't heard about the mainframe myself. I knew IBM, but I didn't know the word mainframe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to think, we pay the ATM money, we do the transactions, whatever it is happening. So I always wanted to know what is the things going behind. And when I got connected with the mainframe community, I could found the 500 Fortune companies, big banks, government, and the retail stores, and so many things. They are using the mainframe, and it really drive my curiosity. And when I went more into the enterprise thing, and I was so amazed. It means that it's so secure, reliable, 99.99% security. Can you imagine? Because
Mm.
today is this is the era of technology, and lots of the the risk
Yeah.
and lots of the cyber security stuffs and lots of unwanted things going on. But the mainframe, it has secured the system in such a way. It was going on, it is going on, and it will be going on. It is very hard to hack the mainframe things. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so at that point, I want to ask one question from the perspective of those students who are about to graduate this year, and they are particularly looking about their career now. So, do you think like mainframe is still right option for them to start with, or maybe if anything they needs to study along with mainframe to make a proper career in their journey? Like, what are your thoughts of starting career with mainframe in 2026?
I personally think it is one of the best opening career. It depends upon your interest. We
Yes,
cannot say the
definitely.
student like you have to go to the mainframe. Like if you are much more into the enterprise and then the technology combinations, then definitely we should pursue the career in the mainframe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainframe, it's not only the old thing, we have a different combination. Like we got the machine G17. So it is integrated with the AI stuff, right? So it's not
Yeah.
only very traditional one. So it has been accommodating so many wonderful technologies, and it is in the form of evolution. So we can say the mainframe modernizations, it's going, and maybe in near future it has much more scope. And I think Mainframe is such a wonderful community because I still remember when I was connected with the Mainframe community. One thing really, it inspired me is the responsible mainframers. So how
Yeah.
they love the mainframe, their passions, their eagerness, and their helpful nature. So for me, it is one of the best, and I suggest students to definitely it's a opening career.
Yeah, and I'm 100% agree on that community part, because I also got an opportunity to work as a Planet Mainframe influencer. And especially the people who comes from the mainframe community, they are always ready to help. Let's say if someone is there who are building or working on some project and they need any kind of guidance, people are eager to help, right? They come upfront, and they ask if something is needed, and if it is needed, they will happy to provide resources or any kind of information if someone is needed. So I think that is the point. Still, the mainframe system is working fine because they have the leaders and they have the community who is stood for their teammates, for their peers. So I think this is the valid point you just mentioned. Now, Meena, I want to ask you one thing, because especially those people who know you, who are into your network, they often recognize you with a person like who have lots of accolades, who have lots of title, right, for your work, obviously. So, but some people they don't know the real story behind it, because you also won one of the prestigious title IBM GSE UK Capture the Flag competition. So, what was that experience for you, and what does it take to complete and win in that space? What was the work that really pushed you towards this recognition by the industry?
Yeah, so this was a very good experience with me. My first experience is playing with the mainframe.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2023 September, I was enrolled in the University of Wolverhampton,
Mm-hmm.
and 2024 through WebZ scholarship. So this is the scholarship especially for the students to attend the GSUK conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the students who got the scholarship to attend the conference. My
Okay.
first, the whole IBM, all the professional people were there, and I took part in the CTF competition over there. And I was so amazed because before I went to many competitions, hackathons, and CTF competitions. It's in a different paraphernalia stuff, but the
Mm-hmm.
settings here in a mainframe, it's different. So it was so exciting. So when we started the competitions, and I still remember we had to find the IP address, and within the room we had to search like a the hunt, the treasure hunt. We had to go to
Okay.
the box, the box, and then we have to find where the IP address, and then come, and then we do some kind of the programming stuff in the TSPF, in the mainframe stuff. It was hard, but somehow we did it. And
Mm.
we thought like we didn't win, but later we it was announced that we won the CTF competitions. And that is my experience with the GSUK, and it was like the igniting spark. Right after that, what I did was like I completed all star baz in the IBM Z platform within
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks, because I knew I won't be able to invest more time later. Then after investing more time there, then I got a very competitive internship, open mainframe intensive. So it was like there was a 1,400 applicants, and 13 people were selected, and I was one of them.
Okay.
Right after getting the the there in the open mainframe space, what I did was like I built the systems, the learning management system integrated with the Moodle, Sakai, Black Box, and other stuff, with my mentors Jeff. He's one of the very expert in the field. And then right after open mainframe, I got the opportunity to work with the IBMI community. And under the assist company, my previous CEO is the Mike Ryan, and under
Mm-hmm.
him I worked for an full year. Then after that, again, after becoming IBM champion, I got a wonderful opportunity from the SMD Dera, which works on the business intelligent mainframe space. And now I'm a current employee in the SMT Dera, and this has been the wonderful journey. And I would say like the GSUK City of Competitions, it ignited my spark. Yeah.
Okay. So I think now it's quite clear to everyone that behind these titles, behind these accolades, there is so much work that are processed behind the curtains. And yes, of course, like if you have passion like Meena, then you can achieve your titles, you can achieve your accolades, because it's behind the work that you are doing, right? No one is doing the work for the titles. Everyone is doing it because they love to do it. They love to contribute for the industry. And then these all things fall into the part by the time when you proceed further with your work and your passion. So it's really very inspiring. I mean, and I'm sure like those who are watching, especially the students, they will learn a lot from your journey, and they will also try to push their limits to achieve these kind of accolades and titles. Okay, so we talked about achievements, we talked about your initial days. Now I think it's time to talk about your journey as a woman leader, because as a education co-lead at Women in AI UK, what do you think? Like, what type of gaps are you trying to close with your role, and what does that work look like day to day? Like, how you are working towards this particular genre, and how you are figuring out like what kind of gaps you are trying to close with your role.
The Women in AI UK, this has been the wonderful community. So it's all around the world, and UK is one. We have a UK branch.
Yeah.
And then the thing is like the cover the gaps it has been accommodating is like the equal opportunity for the women. So we have a stigma that the women are supposed to be inside the house, and the patriarchal settings and these kind of things. And mostly if you see in the workspace, technology high decision making power, it is only confined to the male. But the Women in AI UK is giving opportunity, equal opportunity to the women of how they can learn more about the AI stuff. We have a techies event, we have a summit. So 24 August, we're gonna have like a big summit, here in the BSI, and we have a lots of the partners will be coming there, like Microsoft, IBM, lots of stuff over there. And I would say the gap it is also highlighted is first is the equal opportunities. And second is also it is like focusing more on the education, as we have started the webinar. So for example, this session we talk more about the misinformations and about the disinformation, how critical things it is. So what we did is like we invited the dean from the business schools, University of Cambridge, and then he
Mhm.
gave a session. He gave a very wonderful session. And again, we invited the BBC journalist, award-winning the BBC journalist, who is a woman, and she talked more about the opportunities, her experiences, inspiring the women to be in not only in technology, in the respected field. And
Yeah.
then somehow just not to hide inside the behind the curtain, just open it and go ahead, because the world is yours. This is what
Yes.
the MBA UK is doing.
And I think this is one of the great initiative, because when we come up with some person like who are actually working in that field, they know like what they have passed through in their journey, and they when they are sharing, like currently you are sharing your journey with everyone. So when they are sharing the actual aspects, what is happening in the real world. They are not sharing the theoretical notes that we are learning from the graduation courses, right? They are sharing the real life based scenarios, condition, how they are struggling and how they are coping up with the challenges. So I think this is one of the best initiative when we are uh, putting a platform where where experts come with their knowledge, their skills, and it is really helping the students. And especially in the era, like we all know that women are doing great in all fields, not only in the technical community, especially those who are from Bharat or Nepal. They also believe in the Nari Shakti, and that phrase is enough to explain how women are doing in the industry. So I think that's a great initiative by all the team of your community. They are really doing a great work. And yeah, now I think moving forward, I just wanted to know about some of the other great programs in which you are involved. So because you also completed the DEI leadership program at Homerton College, Cambridge, as a full funded scholar through Black talent and leadership in STEM, which is also a great platform. So, what did that experience teach you that even that couldn't have learned from the job or from the community events? So, what was your experience with that program?
Uh, so after getting the fully funded scholarship from the, the Homerton and then the by the BTLS, it
Mm-hmm.
was really eye opening for me, because normally I was born from a place where there are lots of stigmas, and I didn't know much more about the diversity and the inclusions.
Mm-hmm.
And here, the leadership programs, it taught me how a leader should see each and every person as a human way. It can be,
Okay.
it's not like, most of the people, they think, the people belonging from the LGBTQ community is a second gender, and
Hmm.
somehow they have their own opinion, extreme religious ideology, this and that. And somehow it gave me the vision how to see a person as a person, and how to
Uh,
be a better leaders. So during the workshops, and during so lots of assignment, I could so it really helped me to see the how the great leaders they think in such a way, so that it can accommodate all the people's beliefs, values, and no criticism. Of course, there is a constructive criticism, in a very positive way.
yeah.
And I think this is eye opening for me also, and very fortunate to be linked with the Cambridge, and I could found the people, the leaders, they have a different vision of seeing the things, and it also show me how am I supposed to see the things, right? And
Hmm.
my experience with that is like, I think in one's life, definitely one should get into the leadership programs by the peoples who has been teaching, as well as and giving the workshop, because it really makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so now I want to talk about another program because in one of your posts you have mentioned that Kishori scholarship program is the work closest to your heart. So can you tell us a bit more about this program, like what it is for and how it is helping the community members? So please tell us a bit about the Kishori scholarship program.
So I don't know. I have a belief system. The belief system of having like compassion nature,
Mm-hmm.
and so me and my friend from the Japan, we thought of starting this Kisori scholarship, and
Okay.
then what we did is like, during the student time we didn't have lots of money, so what had is like a pocket money, like 30 pound, 40 pound, and it's not very hard to spend.
Yes.
30 pound a month, it can somehow cover the 1 month fees for the the other person's education. So we thought about opening the Kisori scholarship. So the term Kisori means a small girls, so in
Yes.
order to empower the women also and the girls also. So normally our scheme is providing the uh, scholarship to the children's, especially the women, girl children, who could not pay for the fees. And then we also sponsors for the the conferences, important conferences where they can get the knowledge. And I think it really gives me some kind of satisfactions. And as a technical person, so what I do is like, my job is my job. It's about
Hmm.
the mainframe stuff. But at the same time, what is the productive stuff from the mainframe is like, I invest all the the extra energy to giving back the community of what I
Yeah.
got it. So in near future also, I'm thinking to design a program where the girls and women can also be in the technology, and technology leadership, research, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe entrepreneur lab. So it's
Yeah.
all in their mind right now.
Okay. So here I have want to ask one question regarding both from the student's perspective and as well as for the volunteer. Let's say if someone is there who really wanted to contribute to this program, so how they can join this program, and also at the same time, like if we think like there are a group of women's or especially the group of girls, so how they can be a part of your program. So is there any particular criteria for that?
Well, so website it's under the constructions, and soon
Okay.
we will be registering the company. So if
Okay.
somebody wants to contribute from their side, then definitely they can reach out to my
Yes.
LinkedIn ID, or in email. So everything is there. And yes, I think it's very important. So for example, if you earn 100, 1 rupee should be donated to the higher social cause, and 1 rupee is for the some of your passion of interest. So it depends. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think we talked about some of the great initiative program in which you are involved, whether it's from UK or Nepal initiatives, all these things you have worked upon. Now, I just wanted to know about another very important part of your journey, that is spirituality. because you have described spirituality as what keeps you grounded, technology as what keeps you curious, and community as what keeps you going. So how do these three actually coexist in a normal week for you? Like how you are managing all your work by keeping everything aligned with these three terms?
It looks so complicated, but it's not complicated at all. So I started my spiritual journey. It's been 16 years. So I have been practicing the bhakti yoga,
Okay.
bhakti yoga, and I have been chanting Hare Krishna since 16 years. So it's not a big deal for me. So normally, what I do is morning time I do my sadhana. It means my spiritual rituals and practices, and then after that my work, technical work, mainframe stuff, all the office work. And the evening, some kind of my community work and other stuff. So I have divided this thing in very practical and a balanced way. And yes, spirituality is a foundation. And without spirituality, in UK mostly, because nowadays there's lots of the cases of depressions, mental anxiety,
Yeah.
and all the stuff. Me, luckily, I was into the spirituality, and then the thing is like, I didn't went to the any kind of the mental for the doctor or therapist, because the spirits persons, somehow it's very natural for them to, it's very easy for them to cope up with all these problems. And yeah, so the spirituality teaches us more compassion and more non-violence, and seeing all the people as equal. And
Yeah.
I think this helped me to build the community, respect the community. And a community can be more better if there is involvement of technology, right?
Right.
So technology is a tool, it's not we depend upon them. So this is how it is interrelated with each other.
Yeah, and I want to like say this very clearly, like especially those person who are watching us from abroad. If you attach yourself with Krishna, then there is no terminologies like depression, anxiety, because once you start your spiritual journey, you will feel that yes, there is nothing called depression, because you are now attached with the Lord Krishna, right? And you know, like when you start chanting or yoga, scientifically also, like you will feel there is a lots of benefits. So I think this is a thing that we both agree, and I think we also recommend you at least try this once so that you will feel like how it is helping in your journey. Because currently we all can see that in corporate world everyone is struggling, everyone is chasing their dreams, right? So if you are into this spirituality part, you will feel that things are much more easier for you now. Like otherwise there were so many hurdles, but when you are into spirituality you will feel, and you learn how to manage the things, you learn how to avoid the obstacles. So that's the only thing that I want to deliver here. Okay. So now, Meena, like we just wanted to know about the support of system, because we all know that as a mentor, you have touched so many lives, right, for the students. But if we talk about your journey, who were the key people around you at that time when things were in the initial phase? So who were the key people that had defining impact on your journey so far?
Yeah, I already told you I'm from a very humble background, So when my family lost everything, one person named Pramada Saha, she belongs to a royal blood, and she
Mhm.
was the person who introduced educations to me. And because of her I could get in the I did my schoolings, and then my plus 2, and then undergrad and postgraduate. So that was the person, she opened the door for me. So I have a huge respect for her. And then in the due course of time, then during my undergrad degree, because the university which I chose, it cost around 1 million, and I didn't have money to pay for that. It was a very hard and struggling time. And those time I still remember. We had a debate competitions, and I won the debate competitions. And this is how the university, the principals, he got eye on me. And then I got a full scholarship from there. And I did my the undergrad in the business and the technology at the same time. So his name is Mitra Bandhu Paude. And then right after my undergrad, then I started my, during the undergrad actually. So I started my spiritual journey. So it was Sucharu Mataji who taught me how spiritual life should look like, and how we should contribute the community. I learned about the community and community building from her, and then slowly and slowly now I'm here. Then I'm my spiritual master. So, and then all credit goes to His Divine Grace, Eshe Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all the people. Yeah, there are so many people, so I just took the few.
Okay. All right. So now, although like there are plenty of things that we can discuss here, whether about your great initiatives or your expertise, but we are short on time. So I just want to take one more question, and this is regarding the place you belong from. Although we all know there are lots of great thing about Nepal, but if you had to select one thing that is really close to your heart about Nepal, then what would you like to share with the global audience?
Well, I would say in a one sentence, So
Okay.
it is Nepal, 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 never ending peace and love. So we all are
Okay.
much more, yeah. And so there's one principle: hold, HOLD, home of love and devotion. So I think Nepal is much more about the hospitality and the cultures, the warmth, the relationship, and the city of the temples. So it's beautiful.
Okay. I think these are the best two phrases to define the Nepal because I, being an Indian, I also know like how much places are there, right? Especially the divine places. So I think these are the two great phrases you just used to define beautifully about the Nepal. So yeah. Thank you so much, Meena, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information regarding the great initiatives, great programs. And I think everyone got to know about like how we can achieve the things with our passion and by the grace of God, of course. So that was a pleasure talking to you, and I really appreciate that you joined the series and share your expertise. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Thank you very much.